Stack of articles here, all about the Santa Claus rally.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a fun idea, right? The stock market gets a little boost around the holidays.
Yeah.
But is it really just holiday cheer? Or is there something more to it?
Right. Is this just like, Wall Street superstition, or is there something real driving this end-of-year market bump?
Exactly. I mean, we're talking a potential market trend here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I read that the Santa Claus rally refers to, like, the last 5 trading days of the year and then the first 2 of the new year.
Mm-hmm.
So are we saying those 7 days are consistently better than the rest?
Well, consistently, maybe not the right word, but we do see a trend, and that's what we're going to unpack today.
Perfect. So let's dive into these articles and see what the experts are saying.
Okay. Sounds good.
So one of the first things I'm seeing here is this idea that corporate news basically slows down during the holidays.
Yeah, that's a big one.
It's like everyone's, already checked out mentally for the holidays.
Absolutely. I mean, think about it. Fewer companies are releasing earnings reports or making big announcements.
Yeah, less for investors to react to, right?
Right. And less news generally leads to less volatility.
So maybe that kind of creates a calmer environment for the market.
It does. And stability is something investors love, especially when, the New Year's just around the corner.
Makes sense. And then on top of that, you've got things like year-end bonuses hitting bank accounts.
Oh, yeah. Got to factor that in.
So there's potentially more cash flowing into the market.
Exactly. And you also have investors potentially looking to offset their capital gains for tax purposes.
Oh, right, with those tax loss harvesting strategies.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got less volatility, potentially more cash flow, and maybe some strategic tax moves happening all at the same time.
Yeah, it's kind of all coming together at the end of the year.
So does this actually translate into a consistent market bump? I mean, do we have any historical data to back this up?
Well, that's what's interesting. So looking at the S&P 500 since 1999, it has actually rallied 76% of the time during this Santa Claus period.
Wow, 76%. That's pretty significant.
Yeah, and the average gain during that time is about 1.7%.
Okay, so not a massive surge, but definitely a noticeable upward trend.
Right, and when you consider how often it happens, it definitely makes you wonder if there's something to this.
Yeah, but I'm guessing it's not a guaranteed thing every single year.
Of course not. Like last year, for example, the rally was a no-show.
Oh, really? Even with all those factors we just talked about?
Yeah, it was interesting, right? Because the market had actually hit record highs earlier in December.
So what happened? Why no Santa Claus rally last year?
Well, the market's a complex beast. It's impossible to pinpoint one single reason.
Right.
But it does highlight that the Santa Claus rally isn't foolproof.
Okay, so what about those years when Santa doesn't show up? Does that tell us anything important? Like, is it a sign of things to come?
Well, some analysts suggest that a failed rally could indicate some underlying nervousness among traders.
Oh, interesting. So, like a lack of confidence in the market, maybe.
Yeah, and some even draw connections between past failed rallies and subsequent economic downturns.
So it could be a potential warning sign.
Potentially, yeah, but it's not a hard and fast rule.
Right. I mean, we just talked about how last year the rally didn't happen.
Exactly, and the market recovered.
Okay, so a failed rally doesn't automatically spell doom.
No, not at all. But it does show that there are always other factors at play.
Right, and it probably comes back to that idea that the market is influenced by so many different things.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got economic data, geopolitical events, investor sentiment.
Oh, yeah, and even just plain old human psychology.
Right. The Santa Claus rally is just one small piece of a very big, very complex puzzle.
So for someone like me who, tries to keep up with the market but isn't a professional trader, how much weight should I really give this Santa Claus rally?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's important to understand these historical trends and the potential factors behind them.
Right.
But it's never a good idea to make investment decisions based on just one single factor.
Right. Always got to look at the big picture.
Exactly. Your own financial goals, your risk tolerance, and the broader economic landscape, all of that matters way more than just whether or not we see a Santa Claus rally.
Right. So it's a cool trend to be aware of, but not something to bet the farm on.
Exactly. And remember, past performance is never a guarantee of future results.
Okay. Solid advice. So we've got this interesting historical trend, potentially driven by things like, slower corporate news year-end bonuses and tax strategies. But ultimately, it's just one small piece of the puzzle.
Right. And it really highlights the role of psychology in the market.
That actually makes me think, if enough people believe in this Santa Claus rally and start buying stocks because they expect it to happen, doesn't that almost create a self-fulfilling prophecy?
That's a great point.
Like, if everyone's expecting the market to go up, wouldn't that kind of push it in that direction.
Yeah, that's the fascinating thing about market psychology. It can definitely influence how things play out.
Hmm. So is it really Santa Claus,
Huh.
or is it just our collective belief in Santa Claus that's
Right.
driving this rally?
Well, that's something to ponder, isn't it?
Definitely. Food for thought as we head into the new year.
Right.
Well, I think we've officially unpacked the Santa Claus rally.
Right.
Thanks for diving into this with me.
Of course. Always happy to chat about market trends.
All right, that's it for our deep dive today. We'll see you next time.
See ya.